And bricks can be a really, really great way of working on turn taking. So something as simple as sharing the bricks out and doing mummy's turn, Amber's turn, mummy's turn, Amber's turn. That repetition is really important and can be really helpful. You can also do things like on top, on top, on top. It's that repetition that really, really helps. Don't feel though that you have to play with the bricks in that way. One of the great things to do with young children is to kind of get the bricks out or the items and look and see how they play with it, and then talk to them about what they're doing using really short phrases or single words. If you don't have bricks, there are other options. You could use Tupperware to do some building, or yogurt pots. In the same way with like my turn and your turn or the child's name. The other thing that you can do with the Tupperware, which is really great, is it lends itself to shapes. So things like circle and rectangle for our children who are getting ready for school. And then perhaps for our reception children, you could even move on to 3D shapes such as cuboid. If I was working with a young child, I might start with something as simple as having a box or a bag and kind of doing a hiding game. It's really great for eye contact, for anticipation. So kind of looking in the box and going, oh, what can I see? I found and leaving that gap to see if your child can fill it. If it's not with a word, if they're not saying words yet, just kind of a vocalization is great. If they are saying the word car, you could kind of talk about the parts of the car, like the wheels or the window. You can talk about driving the car and what the car does. Kind of an extension from that is to have two items, so perhaps a box and a bag. So you're getting your child to look from one thing to the other. So go, oh, what's in the bag? Mummy's found a teddy. You can talk about hugging the teddy or cuddling the bear. You can talk about the different parts of the bear. So Teddy's nose, Mummy's nose, Millie's nose. So lots and lots of ways to just kind of talk about the parts or the objects themselves. A simple Skittles game. So I'm using cups here, but you could use old fizzy pop bottles with a little bit of water in the bottom. You can put something on the top of each one, and then, if it balances, if you've got a really young child, you could just tell them what they need to knock off. So I'm using a beanbag here, but you could do this outside with a football. So can you find the ball? You could go that next level up. Can you find something for building? Or again, once our children are kind of reception year 1, year 2, perhaps you could give them a description. So I want you to find the thing that's round and shiny and that you eat. And they would go for the apple. What we'd really want children to do in this kind of situation is have a go at doing the talking as well as the listening, as that's really great for turn taking and also their expressive language and describing skills. Clothes are a great opportunity to kind of use lots of descriptive language for children who are in preschool and beyond. If you're doing that horrible task of sorting out the socks, for example, you could get your younger children to find socks that are the same. For our children who are just about to go into school, you could talk about, can you find the spotty sock or the stripy sock? You might ask them to find Daddy's sock or Millie's sock. If you're popping the washing out on the washing line, you could ask your child who's in reception to find you 2 things to put on the washing line. So can you find me a t-shirt and some trousers? So there's lots and lots of opportunities to kind of use clothes.
So we're going to start by thinking about songs and rhymes, and with Baby Shark, which obviously most children are very familiar with. And what you can do is bring up the video clip so they can see what it is, and you can do ready, steady, go. And play the clip, maybe have a little dance together and label things like, oh, it's a fish, look at the boy, oh, he's dancing, oh, shark, he's swimming. And then you can do stop. And then really build that anticipation, so you can make some eye contact with your child, so they're really anticipating you starting the song again. And then you can do ready, steady, go again. Label some more things in there. Oh, pink shark. And singing. Then stop. And when you do ready, steady, go, each time you can maybe make it a bit longer, so there's more anticipation, and maybe your child might say go, fill that in for you, or make a vocalization and they want you to start again. So those sort of things work really nicely with anticipation and attention and labeling simple objects. And then we've also got things like guess the sound. There's lots of these on YouTube. This is just one that I found, which is guessing animal sounds. Do listen. What can you hear? What do you think it is? Say, which one is it? Maybe label them, say, is it the pig? Is it the dog? Is it the hippo? And they can point if they want to, if they can't say it. It's the pig. And they maybe make the sound together again. So some really nice things on YouTube that I'm sure you can find quite easily, just by putting in sound games or what did you hear, that kind of thing.
So one of the things that you could do when we're thinking about working with preschoolers or children in your early years is you could do the sausage roll song. So you would spread out your sheet, have your child lay across it, and then you're going to roll them up. So you sing, I'm going to make a sausage roll, sausage roll, sausage roll. I'm going to make a sausage roll, 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 roll. And you would roll your child up in your sheet. It's really good for a little sensory activity, really good for attention skills, and it's going to give you some really nice parent-child kind of interaction. Another great little activity you could do is the parachute game. So you could spread your sheet out, have some family members to help you hold each corner as you puff it up and down, up and down. You can take it in turns to call one of your family members' names. They can listen for it and then run underneath. So that's really good for turn taking, listening and attention skills. Another thing you could do is sing the butterfly song. So you would have your sheet behind you, spread it out so it looks like wings, and then you're going to sing butterfly wings go up and down, up and down, up and down. Butterfly wings go up and down all day long. So really nice for introducing basic concepts like up and down. You could do quickly, slowly, fast and slow. There's loads of great things that you could do with that song.
You could use things like Play-Doh, but we might also want to extend that a little bit for the older ones and start making their own dough, okay? So to begin, I thought that we could use the Play-Doh and really get them feeling those textures and think about those words that you could be using to describe the dough and how they're using it. So rolling the dough, okay, pulling the dough and making it into a sausage, so giving that commentary whilst they're playing with it. Oh, you're rolling the purple dough, okay, and also giving them the choice. So do you want the blue dough, or do you want the purple dough, okay, and using a bit of macaron as well. So having that choice is quite nice. You could use cutters, okay, when you're playing with the dough and talking about the different things that they're making with vocabulary. So like this one's a fish and a cat, okay, so that's really nice because that will help them develop their vocabulary about animals. And then also maybe shapes as well, if they made different shapes. you could talk about that as well. You could also get them to challenge them a bit. You could say to them, "Oh, can you make me a long sausage or a short sausage?" But show them first, just to obviously help them a bit along the way.
So to start with, if there's 2 or 3 of you, have some aeroplanes ready-made, because often children at this age, their attention span's not long enough, and they haven't got the skills to kind of help with making them. So have them ready-made and introduce them as aeroplanes. Have a go at just letting your child play with the aeroplanes as they want to. So follow their lead, and it gives you the opportunity then to model any language that they're doing, commenting on what they're doing. And then have a go at taking away all the other aeroplanes and keeping just the one. So at this point is where you're going to start to take turns with each other. And these turn-taking skills are really important for kind of life in general, but especially for language learning, about in conversation when we can go from one to the other. Have a go at ready, steady, go activities. So you're going to do ready, steady, go, and then fly your aeroplane. Get your child to have a go. Each time you do it, try and extend the pause that you have before go, and listen out for any vocalizations or gestures that your child might use to indicate go. That's great for kind of cause and effect skills, and extending their attention by making that pause gap just that little bit longer.
So starting with preschool children, water play is a really great opportunity to model language. I've got a water table here, but you could just as easily do this at bath time. You might want to start with really simple words such as boat or fish, and then you could move on to more advanced words such as action words like pouring and concepts such as empty or full. If you want to focus on instructions, you can get a washing up bowl and put some animals in there, and you can start off with a simple instruction such as wash the zebra, wash the tiger, and once they're able to do that easily, you could start thinking about different body parts like wash the giraffe's leg.
So the first thing you can use for our younger children is a playmat if you've got one for cars, so with a roadway and maybe a town scene mapped out. Anything that you've got like that would be perfect. If you haven't got one of those, don't worry, you can easily make one. I've made one from just an old cardboard box, and I've stuck a bit of paper on to make it easier to see, and as you can see I've drawn a roadway. And on the roadway I've put some different places. So I've put a zoo, a park, Nanny's house, so you can have anybody special in your family's house, our house, shop, bus stop, station, so on. And if you've got any toys like a train track, you can add some props to your scene. So you could use a station, you could make a shop from some bricks, you could add a bridge over the road if you've got one, and so on. It just adds a bit more interest to that scene and gives you lots of opportunities to talk about all of those things. So while you're doing this activity with the younger children, you can just be naming all the things that you're using, and all the places that you can push the cars to, and all of the things that you add into it. You can, don't forget to use lots of action words. We're very good at using names of things, but it's really good to remember to use some action words as well. So things like pushing, driving, and then also bringing in some of the other less common words, things like fast, the car's going really fast, or this is a really big car. We can also make sure with children who haven't got too many words, if they're saying one word about the thing that you're playing with, always make sure you add another word on. So if they say car, you can say yes, big car. Or if they say mummy, you can say mummy driving the car. So add on 1 or 2 words to help to expand their language. If children are beginning to be able to follow instructions, you can easily use this to incorporate that. So you can have your toys that you've got. You might want to add a train, and you can have a car, and you can say, put the car in the park. Put the train at the station. So just using those little 2-word examples, you can then also make that a little bit more difficult if children are able to do that by adding some big and small. So I've got a big car and a little car. So put the big car at the zoo. I've got some animals too, so you could have big and little pig. And you could also introduce colours there if you wanted to, so have some different colour objects, and they have to listen and put them in the place where you say.
Do you want the short stick or the long stick? Do you want the short stick or the long stick? The long stick! Drawing. Wow! Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle! Squiggle! Round and round and round and squiggle! Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Oh, dot, 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 dot. Wow, zigzag, zigzag. Wow. They're flying. Bits are flying. They're flying. They're flying.
What are those?
What do they look like? They look like little bits of mud. They look like shells. Shells for fairies. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. Oh, swirly, whirly.
Make it on my flower.
Thank you. Swirly, whirly. Whew, that's fast. Fast, fast, fast. You do slowly. Slowly. Slow. Fast, 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 fast. Stop. Slowly. Slowly.
So first of all, thinking about preschool children, a very simple catch and throw game with a ball or a beanbag, whatever you've got that you can catch or roll to each other, and really sort of build in the anticipation with ready, steady, go, and roll it to your child, and keep sort of building anticipation by making the go a bit longer, and maybe they'll fill in the gap for you by vocalising or signalling they want you to go. Also, it's really good for turn taking, so say my turn, rolling it, your turn, whose turn is it, and seeing if they can work out whose turn it is. Also, you could do like a mini obstacle course, so using things like planks of wood you could lay out, maybe a blanket, a stick, and a hula hoop, and then get them to go around the course. And as they're going around the course, you can say, oh, you're balancing on the wood, you're going under the blanket, or you're hopping over the stick, you're jumping in the hoop, and modelling loads of really nice action words and maybe a few sort of very simple position words, and obviously the objects that you're using as well. Another thing you can do using similar sort of objects, so maybe using things like the hula hoop, you could also use some things like plant pots, buckets, that kind of thing. Get them to follow some instructions. So get things like the bean bag and a ball and say to them, can you throw the bean bag in the bucket? Or can you run to the stick? Can you jump to the plant pot? Can you throw the ball to the stick? Things like that. So just following some really simple instructions.